The Supreme Court upheld Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act, the provision at the heart of the case. It says jurisdictions with a history of racial discrimination in voting must seek approval from the U.S. Justice Department before making any change to their election process. But in a 5-4 vote, the justices temporarily suspended the law until Congress develops a new formula for determining which jurisdictions come under federal oversight. Civil rights activists say it will be difficult for a Congress divided along partisan lines to come up with an agreement. Wade Henderson, president of the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights, is unhappy with the ruling.
We are obviously disappointed that a narrow and activist segment of the Supreme Court has turned its back not only on the contemporary problem of voter suppression in America, but on the history that brought us to the point we are today.
The Voting Rights Act was passed at the height of the civil rights movement when African Americans were challenging segregation and discrimination laws, mostly in the southern United States. The law's opponents charged that while Congress had the power to act in 1965, over time, a state's right to oversee elections had to be restored.
We voted!
Constitutional lawyer Ilya Shapiro with the Cato Institute, a conservative research group, argued the law is no longer needed given progress since the civil rights era. He cited the 2008 election of Barack Obama, the country's first president of color.
Things have changed. In fact, voting rates among minorities, and at least among African Americans, are higher in the jurisdictions that are covered by Section 5 than in the rest of the country.
The Obama administration said there is a continuing need for the law, noting efforts last year to block voter identification laws in South Carolina and Texas. Barbara Arnwine with the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law says advocacy groups will continue to fight to preserve the law.
We will not sit down. We will not be silent. We will not accept the evisceration of our rights. We will fight every step of the way.
The Voting Rights Act was renewed in 2006 by a Republican-led Congress, but the Supreme Court ruling could allow a conservative majority in Congress to undermine the law by diluting standards or delaying action. Brian Padden, VOA News, Washington.